Here we go. We are going live. Some more Morse code for you. I'm sure you're going to be very excited. So, here we go. Are you ready? Yes, put these on. That's better. A lot better for me. Right, here we go. Where is it? Oh. Oh, what was wrong? Whoa, well, how did that go? Oh, hello, Christopher. Oh, how you doing, mate? Yeah, good to see you back on him. Yeah, great stuff. Been a week or so, hasn't it? So you've been away from my Morse code for a week? You lucky man. Cheers. Ah, nice cup of tea. I don't drink alcohol, so I drink tea by the gallon. No particular reason. I just gave up alcohol one day, and I gave up smoking as well. So I've got to find something to do with my time, like sending Morse code, which of course could be a load of bull, really. But it's all genuine. I'm still going on about the effects of post-herpetic neuralgia, which is basically nerve damage caused after having shingles. So there you go. How interesting is that? There's a lot of very long words, as there usually is when it comes to medical stuff. I'm sure the doctors know what it means half the time. Anyway, let's take the headphones off. That's better. I can hear myself speaking. So at least one person's listening. It's me and Christopher. Yeah, I'm going to have to wrap this up soon. I'm quite tired. I've been knocking down an old shed today before it literally falls down. It's so rotten, it's unbelievable. I don't know how it's gotten that rotten, really. I think what you've got to do with a shed, so I've been told, is not just to put them straight. Is that what a vintage Morse code device you have there? No, it's not a vintage one. Funny enough, funny you should say that. I'm after, well, it's actually a replica of the Titanic Morse code key. And the company, the German-based company that does it, emailed me back and said, well, we're not making any more now till the end of the year. So I'm going to have to wait, I'm afraid, because that's the one I want. It's as close as you can possibly get it to the, I think I've said this before anyway, as close as you can get it to the Titanic key. I don't know why it takes this German company so long to make it. But this one, no, this one's fairly modern, really. It's quite robust in its making, and it did have a cover that went over it, to sort of like a dust cover that went over this bit here. But that's long lost. But I got this one when I was learning back in 84, was it? Something like that. So that's the story there. Yeah, it'd be good to get that Titanic one. I think it's about 200 quid. It's not cheap. Plus VAT, probably. So that is, well, it can't really be the genuine 1804. What's 1804? How old are you? I'm I wasn't born in 1804, mate. I don't look that old, do I? 1804. How old are you? Well, probably older than you, I'd guess. Older than Daniel. Let's put it that way. Much older than him. Probably 30 something years older than him, I'd guess. So it gives you an idea. Same age as his mum, actually, as it happens. She's slightly older than me by about 3 months. So she becomes a pensioner before I do. Official pensioner. Not that I want to retire particularly. I can't think of 42. Oh, no, it's not that young, mate. 42, still a youngin. Well, compared to me, you probably are, but 42 ain't that young. 42. Well, that means you've got another 20, depends when you were born, actually, something like 20, maybe 25 years to go before your state retirement age. So it's a long way off. And you don't get much anyway for the state pension. So my advice is, not that I'm a financial advisor, start putting some money away somewhere else for your old age. Right, but the age might be increased by then. Yeah, I know, they keep doing that. I mean, I was supposed to retire last September, but they bumped it up a year. So there, that's giving my age away. So I've got to wait till this September now. And some people I work with, I think theirs is something like 67, 68, I don't know. Just keeps going up. And we do nothing about it. It's not like, like the French, they protest and, well, they riot as well, which isn't right, but at least they do something about it. And we just sit there and take it. And that's it. I mean, it'll be 70, I think, soon. Well, then, it's getting so ridiculous, you'll probably have to die first before you can get it. Yeah, so start tucking some money away, I would. Because your state pension's about 10 grand a year. It's not a lot. It's not a lot at all. Excuse me. I know it's difficult to put money away. And I was 35 years paying a mortgage. So what's this? Is the same situation here in the US? Oh, you're in there. Oh, you're in America. Yeah, I didn't know that. My dad will be 70 this year, still working construction. Yeah, well, he might like working, you see. I mean, I don't intend to retire completely. I intend to just reduce the number of days I do per week, which the company have agreed. And so it'll be down to 2 days. I think that's probably the right way for me to go, rather than just spend my whole life working and bang, suddenly you go into retirement and thinking, what am I going to do now? Sitting around twiddling your thumbs watching reruns of the Sweeney and Minder. Yeah, I mean, in construction there's always work anyway. So I mean, I don't know if he's self-employed, I don't know what the score is over there, but there's always work in construction. I've been in it, I was in it for quite a few years, about 10 years or so, something like that, and quite enjoyed it. But it gets cold and wet, which I didn't like. Yep, he's a contractor. All right, oh, that's good. Always work. There is always work in construction, especially in America, because it's such a big place. There's loads of land to build on, isn't there? Loads of it. Oh, I don't know, which part of the US are you in then? About 4 years ago, I went to New York, which I thoroughly enjoyed. It was just so good. I couldn't get enough of it, I was only there, what was it, 4 or 5 days? 4 days, I think. And, it was fantastic. California, Silicon Valley area. All right. Well, I shall look on my map and see exactly where that is. Because America's a big place, and when you see these quiz programs on the telly, and where they've got like a kind of outline of America and all the states, but they've not named any of them, and then they light up one of the states, and you've got to say which one it is. I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue. So I've only visited, like I say, New York, and 40 years before that, I went to Dallas. That's it. Flew into Dallas, and then we hired out a car and went to San Antonio. I'm not too sure if there's the right way around. It was Dallas, San Antonio, and the Lyndon B. Johnson Space Center at Houston. That's it. And then we drove down to the border, Mexican border, Laredo, I think it is. So we packed a lot in a few days, and thoroughly enjoyed driving a hired Cadillac, huge, great thing, about the size of my living room. You'd need planning permission for one of those things in England. And it was a dream, really, driving one of those. Wheel spinning it around, just like I used to see. Watch a series called Streets of San Francisco with Carl Malden, where they're going up and down these roads, and and hello there, Clisco Santa. Good evening from England. I don't know what it is where you are, but it's evening here. It's probably about 8 o'clock or something in the evening. Yeah, so when we got out there, hired out a Cutlass Oldsmobile. Like I say, it was the size of a living room. And then we exchanged that for a Pontiac Firebird. And loved it, really posing in it, thinking everybody was watching me, but they weren't, because it was just a normal looking car in those days. When I went to like I say, New York 4 years ago, it was they'd all got these sort of boxy looking 4x4 type things, quite boring really. It's what you get over here in England, So so all the TV cop shows, American TV cop shows, influenced me quite a bit. And then there was the sort of more light-hearted ones like Starsky and Hutch, and what's that one with Daisy Duke in it? Dukes of Hazzard, that was it. I mean, everybody watched it because she was in it, of course. What hot-blooded male wouldn't? I mean, she was flipping gorgeous. I mean, oh, dearie Lord. Got those hot pants on as well. Oh, dear. Not good for somebody who was probably about 18, 20, something like that when that came out. I see. There's some message just come up there. Yeah, okay. So that's a story there. Not much of a traveller when it comes to getting around. But typical Brit really. I go to Spain. And that's it. Because I'll tell you why. It's so bloody easy. From where I live, I'm about an hour from Gatwick, and then you just get on an EasyJet flight, which costs about a fiver. Bit of an exaggeration, but they're cheap if you book at the right time. And then 2.5 hours later, you're in Gibraltar or, southern Spain, where the weather's much better. It's cheap beer. Not that I drink it, but it's cheap. The tapas food is brilliant. I love it. And you're more or less on the same time zone. It might just be an hour here, an hour there, where if you go to America, obviously it's hours, it could sort of throw you out a bit. So that's why the Brits go to Spain a lot, and some of them move out there for their retirement. That's not something I plan to do. I don't think they let us now anyway, since we left the EU, or they do, but it's for a limited time or something. I'm not sure, but I don't plan to do it anyway, so it doesn't really matter for me. Yeah, California's Silicon Valley area, right? Well, I will look that up. Try and educate myself a bit in America, because all we ever hear is Trump. I mean, I've got to say, he's entertaining. I mean, he is. I mean, he's in the news every day. He loves it, doesn't he? I mean, a man of his age should be retired and spend his days fishing or something. But I mean, the last I heard today, he was being sued for about 320 million. It just doesn't seem to bother him. And then, I mean, seriously, I wish I could go to Spain. My wife is Japanese, so anytime we travel overseas, it tends to. Oh, right, yeah, I've never been out that far. Crikey, no. But it looks interesting. Yeah, I mean, my girlfriend's Malaysian, but I've never been out there. It's too flipping far on an aeroplane, quite frankly. Different time zones and what have you. Yeah, where was I? Trump. Yeah, I mean, seriously, how do you elect your presidents? He used to have some really good ones, the Kennedys and what have you, and the Bushes, although he was probably the second one wasn't too popular. I mean, the Kennedys, though, they were the business. They were, everything, really, the looks, the women, the money, the power, the whole package. And now you go to Biden, and he does seem to have trouble. Well, I'm saying things, really. And there's Trump, who has plenty to say. But it's very entertaining. Very entertaining. I thought you'd have somebody sort of a bit, I don't know. I mean, the Kennedys looked like presidents, didn't they? They just were so clean cut. But yeah, it entertains us over here anyway, as I'm sure Brexit entertains most of the world, really. And that discussion will go on for ever and ever and ever. I mean, 7 years ago we voted to leave, was it, or 8 years maybe? About 4 years we actually left. For me personally, it's made no difference whatsoever, which I didn't think it would. But obviously, it's affected some people. Like any big change, there's winners and there's losers. I'm neither, really. I'm just me. Probably gained something here and lost something there without probably realising it. Yeah, so that's it. That's politics for you. We're going to have a general election coming up soon over here. So that should be interesting, because I'm not quite sure how that one's going to go. As much, just a figurehead. Yeah, they don't. No, I mean, presidents and prime ministers, yeah, they're just spokesmen, aren't they? They're just front men. Hi, Drew Evans. But it would be good if they could communicate a little bit better, really, wouldn't it? I do feel sorry for Biden, really. He invents countries. That was the latest thing I heard. He actually made up a country that nobody could find anywhere. It just didn't exist. So maybe possibly a little bit too old for the job, maybe. But that's just my opinion. I don't really understand how you elect it. There's all these college votes and stuff like that, and you can win loads of votes. And I mean, it's a bit like our crazy system, really, where you can have. I think the party called UKIP, which is now disbanded, obviously because it was there just to leave the EU. But, they were getting like 4 million votes, or I'm not too sure of the exact figures, but they were getting a lot of votes, and only ending up with one seat in Parliament. So it's all first past the post system, which I suppose, yeah, I mean, it sorts it all out a bit quicker rather than proportional representation. But that's the system we've got. and that's what we're stuck with. So, but the first past the post, of course, people didn't like it when the referendum didn't go their way. So, you know, you can't win either way, really, can you? I mean, at least I get a reply from my MP, who I email occasionally, and she always replies back. I think they're duty bound to, actually, but nothing's really. Well, I'm not going to change the world, am I? For Christ's sakes, we need an age limit. Yeah, that might be a good idea. Yeah, I presume there isn't one. I don't think there is over here, really. I think they just sort of get fed up with it. I mean, Margaret Thatcher over here was in for quite a long time, about 12 years, I think. But she got stabbed in the back by her own party. And then Tony Blair, he just handed the towel in, really, threw the towel in, rather, after about the same amount of time as Thatcher, I think, around about 12 years, something like that. And yeah, it must be. I mean, I wouldn't want the job, Prime Minister or President. Nah, you've got to have quite a big ego to want to do it, really. Although it appears that it doesn't really matter what you say if you want to be president. I mean, we had Boris Johnson, of course. He must have been quite entertaining. He was a bit of a clown, really, but he just sounded convincing. And he got his party in a massive majority in the last election. A bloody great landslide. There's a minimum age limit. Why not a maximum? There's a minimum age limit, is there? Don't see why, really. If you're up to the job, do it. Maximum, yeah, well, that could be determined by your sort of general health and mental health and all the rest of it. We shall see. I wouldn't like to predict who's going to win any elections at this stage. It used to be a foregone conclusion over here, but this one, don't know. Probably might. I mean, Labour won 2 by-elections yesterday. So, or was it today? Anyway, yesterday I think it was, and with big majorities. But that could be possibly a bit more of a protest vote, really. Whether that will translate to a general election is probably debatable. We'll just have to wait and see. But I'm not putting my name up for it, so I'll carry on with my job. Anyway, that's it, I think. Yeah. I don't know the time. It doesn't come up when I'm on these live feeds, and it gets carried away with the time. So, you know, I'm in my own little world here. So I'm going to wish you all a good evening or morning or afternoon, wherever you happen to be. Nice to see you up here again, Christopher, and everybody else who has come up. Not many of you, but doesn't matter, does it? And I wish you all the best from England, and I shall be going cycling tomorrow if the weather's okay, but this is England, so you never know what the weather's going to do. It's forecast to be okay, but when I'm cycling I want it to be more than okay. Yeah, thanks, Christopher. I've got a mate coming over. He's going to put his bike in his car. He's coming over from Dover, and he'll be cycling with me, and perhaps we might go into historic Rochester in Kent. I think we might cycle there, which is a Dickensian place with a castle and a cathedral. If you Google it, it'll come up. It's nice. I like it. It's very close to where I live, and I always like going there. I mean, it's got a place called Chatham next door, which is just completely different, and Strood next door is, it's in between a place called Strood and Chatham, and they're both pretty historic. Rochester, yeah. Charles Dickens festivals all the time there, and the Sweeps Festival, and Yeah, lots happening. It gets a bit rowdy of a night time in the pubs, and there's a nightclub there called the Casino Rooms, and it's not a casino. There's no casino in it. I think it just probably was a casino at one time. So that's just called the Casino Rooms. I used to go in there a lot when I was younger. Lots of women, lots of drink, lots of everything. It's great. So yeah, historic Rochester, always worth a visit if you're ever down in Kent. Um, it's worth a visit. The cathedral's pretty cool, and they have things there that sort of unrelated to religion. I mean, they had a big globe of the world in there about a year ago, um, hanging from the ceiling. Big, massive thing, and it rotated as well. I don't quite know why it was there now, but it was there. So anyway, yeah, you go and Google Rochester, and I shall Google Silicon Valley, and I wish you a good day, you all. Many thanks for tuning in. I wish you well. See you soon. Bye.